How to make men approach you in public places.
Serious question for the men. Where in the world are all of the loyal ones at?
I genuinely want to know why it's so hard to date.
If you want men to approach you, I have the formula for you. Listen very carefully. If you want men to approach you,
Women act like men are hard to understand. They're single because they refuse to learn.
Dating in New York City sucks, and I promised myself this year that I was going to go on more dates.
If you usually say, no one ever talks to me when you're out, it's because you're doing something wrong.
I'm 46. It's a nightmare. I don't know how to date. I don't even know how to get.
Dating for older women is most certainly difficult. It's a competition for them. Kindly subscribe to the channel as it further supports us in our work. Thank you.
Tell me how I'm 30 years old, but I feel like I'm 20 until...
If you're a girl and you see a cute guy that you want to come up and talk to, here are some tried and true methods to get them to approach.
Public service announcement. These are your hottest years. Do not waste them.
So I'm going to need you to do these few things to start looking more approachable and having the guy that you want come and talk to you.
How do we get approached by better men? Approached by better men.
I feel like I'm at the point of my life right now where rejection does.
Okay, get ready with me while I talk about how to be a man-eater. First and most important is that we're not approaching them.
Taking a girl on a walk is not a date.
Shut up! This is a question for men. Is this true? Do you want girls to come up to you in public and say hi, start talking, whatever? This comment is coming from a video that I made about just being like, do people actually meet people in a grocery store? Like, I saw a really hot guy in there, but like, even if I wanted to talk to him, like, what would I even say? And a lot of the comments ended up being like guys talking about how like, they would love that any girl said hi, and I'm just like, really? And then I start thinking, and I'm like, maybe I'm the problem because I'm a little socially awkward, and I also like, I have no game. So I'm just like, I don't even know what I would say to a guy. So guys, what should women say if they want to approach a guy in a public setting? For example, a grocery store or like maybe out and about. That's not a bar, because I think a bar setting is pretty simple to go talk to a guy. Like, it's already a social setting. You're already talking to people. It's easy to like make that transition. I feel like it's the places maybe you're alone, that it's like harder to talk to a stranger. So guys, I want your take on this. Please share with the girlies.
I don't think some men would mind being approached by women. In fact, a lot of men would appreciate it. But the thing is, the majority of women won't do it because they're still stuck on traditional norms. They'll say they're progressive and independent, but when it comes to dating, suddenly it's the man should do everything. They'd rather hold on to their pride and ego than take the initiative. Instead of making a move, they'll sit back, stay silent, and then make a video complaining about how men don't approach anymore. You rarely see women approach men, not because they can't, but because they won't. They associate approaching with desperation or fear. It will bruise their image. But the irony is, some of these same women will post thirst traps, go out dressed to get attention, and send signals from across the room, all to be noticed, but won't take that one step of actually starting a conversation. It's all about indirect energy, never direct effort.
Okay, this is for all my single girlies in their late 20s, early 30s. Where are we finding men now? Because the Hinge pool has a lot of pee in it. So I'm certainly not finding anyone there. I'm not on Bumble or Tinder, and I don't plan to be. I go to the bars sometimes, but the quality of men there, typically not the best from what I've experienced, but I'm not opposed to it. I go to the grocery store with my hair on top of my head, no makeup, baggy clothes. So I don't think anybody's dying to give me their number when they see me there, okay? So, if you've got any ideas, toss them my way, because I'm 30 and beginning to think that this whole dying alone thing isn't gonna be like a running joke. It's gonna be reality. So yeah, let me know.
So, I don't know about y'all, but I love for my man to be very dominant, very much a provider, very much a lover boy, a romantic man, and very much mine. Yeah.
Baby doll, you know you have to train your guy to obey you. Make all your wishes come true. Have to Pavlov's dogs him. Yeah, it's all in the training. Doesn't matter if you just met him or you've been together for a while. He needs to know subconsciously that he's here to make your commands come true. So let's start with something simple. Next time you're in a bar or you're together, have to make sure that he follows what you say. How to do it? One quick and easy way. Have to move him around. Ideally, you'll have to move him yourself. For example, you're standing there and talking, and there's somebody walking by or there's a light shining. You grab him by the shoulders and you move him. It has to be so subtle that he doesn't even notice it, but it goes straight into the subconscious. Subconsciously, he's already obeying your command. Do that a couple of times throughout the night. Move him to the right, move him to the left. You're ingraining it in his mind. Know who's the queen here. You apply it until he knows. And then reward him when he follows. It can be a little touch. It can be a little sway. It can be a little sexy gay. Maybe even a kiss. Wire his brain.
When women listen to this kind of advice, it's no wonder they keep staying single. Give him a command, make him follow. What is he? A dog. This isn't empowerment. It's entitlement wrapped in toxicity. Relationships aren't built on dominance and control. They're built on mutual respect. You can't expect to build a healthy bond while treating your partner like a pet you're trying to train. Then they wonder why men pull away, stop showing up, or don't take them seriously. Men don't want to be controlled. They want to be appreciated. What's even more amazing is that the women giving this kind of advice are almost always single. It's like they're projecting their own bitterness and failures onto others, trying to sound empowered while secretly craving the very connection they can't seem to keep. They speak with authority on how to handle men, yet they have no successful relationships to show for it. Isn't it ironic? The loudest voices telling women to command or control a man are the ones who can't even get one to stay. Misery loves company.
I genuinely want to know why it's so hard to date in 2025. Why can't people just communicate? Hey, I'm not into you. Hey, sorry. I'm trying to work things out with my ex-girlfriend. I just got stood up on a date that was supposed to start at 7:30. It's 8:50 right now. Not a single word. How disrespectful.
Is it actually true that men become a reflection of the way their women treat them? So, if you don't like the way he's acting, maybe you should look at the way you're treating him.
Let's talk about why super pretty girls don't get asked out very often. Also, I just got my nails done so bomb. I'll do a close-up at the end for a screenshot. It all comes down to a fear of rejection. When men see a super pretty girl, they assume that they're going to be rejected in one way or another. If they shoot their shot, there's a large chance of them being rejected, and that's just going to hurt their egos. It's a big insecurity thing because guys that are super secure in themselves don't have a problem with approaching girls that they're interested in because they don't really give a fuck. Going off the insecurity thing, since she's so pretty, they probably assume that she's been hit on a million times in that night, and if she's not talking to any guy, then that's probably a sign in their mind. Along with that, you could have an intimidating look about you. A lot of hot girls give off kind of like a resting bitch face type of vibe, and a guy's not going to be like running up to you if that's the vibe. That's why you a lot of times see guys go for girls that are seen by society as like sixes or whatever because they are more approachable, and guys shoot their shot with them because they don't have to worry about getting rejected in their mind. On top of that, girls that run in packs of hot girls make it even harder because a guy's already scared to approach one pretty girl. Imagine approaching like 5 pretty girls. There are a few solutions to look more approachable. For example, you can work on that resting bitch face because if you have more of like a smiley, happy face and presence, then it's more likely they're going to come up to you. The one thing I will say though, any man that isn't able to approach you due to your hotness maybe isn't the man for you.
Men aren't intimidated by so-called super pretty girls. That narrative is tired. What men are is aware. If a woman is extremely attractive, it's logical for a man to assume she's been hit on countless times, especially during her late teens and early 20s, when she likely had peak attention. So it's not intimidation, it's calculation. Most men aren't trying to be number 198 on a list of dudes who shot their shot just to be ignored, used for validation, or brushed off like they don't matter. A lot of these women think that complaining about men not approaching anymore will somehow make men feel guilty and start lining up again. But it doesn't work like that. That tactic might have worked when men didn't have options or awareness. Now, men are more intentional. They value their time and energy. If a woman is really interested, she should approach herself. Period.
If you want men to approach you, I have the formula for you. Listen very carefully. Save this video. If you're a girl and you want guys to approach you instead of you approaching them, this is what you got to do. You go to Taco Bell the same day. You go out alone. 2 steps. Go to Taco Bell. Eat food from there. Go out alone. Don't go with your friends because they're, guys get afraid. They're like, oh no, she's with a lot of people. I'm not gonna, they're scaredy cats. Okay. So go alone. Go out somewhere where you want to find the men, right? And then you just fart as loud as you can. And then it's like a mating call. They're like, oh my gosh. And then you get their attention and they come running towards you. And then when they do come running towards you and they will ask for your number, you just, after giving them your number, make sure you look them straight in the eyes with a straight face. Or you can even smile like this. And then you just fart. Let her rip and let it echo. Go somewhere where it's enclosed so that it can echo. Okay, so yeah.
Are you stupid?
This is why I'm going to be single forever, okay? My ADHD is ruining my dating life because I'm dating a lot because I'm trying to get married and stuff. And I'm just mixing up every date with various people, okay? I was on a date with this one guy that I'm kind of seeing, and I was like, oh my God, I love that jazz bar you took me to. That was so fun. And he was like, well, we never went to a jazz bar. And I was like, right. Well, we should. That's a dream of mine. The dream I had is you and I were at a jazz bar. I went to a jazz bar with another man.
Taking a girl on a walk is not a date.
Okay. Why isn't it?
And I can't believe I even have to say this.
But yet, here we are. So why isn't it a date?
It is low effort. You put zero thought into it.
Based on what? That the guy isn't spending a lot of money? Maybe he just wanted to get to know you.
If I wanted to go on a hot girl walk, I would call one of my girlfriends. I will go with the girlies.
Okay then. What exactly did you have in mind?
A date is something that you actually have to plan. A date is something that you are investing a certain amount financially into. It doesn't have to be a ton, but something.
No, a man does not have to invest money into a certain activity in order for it to be considered a date. That's rather materialistic minded of someone.
For example, if you wanted to go on a walk and then have a picnic, right? You have a couple snacks, maybe bring some music you can listen to. Oh, this is a perfect view for a sunset. Let's put a little thought into it.
It's really sad that some individuals think that a relationship has to start out by someone spending money.
Even a guy that has no money, if he wanted to, he would. He will find a way to figure it out. He will find a way to make it special for you.
It's almost like things can be made special and meaningful without money.
If a man is trying to take you on a walk, girl, run. Run. Not toward him. Away.
Just a thought, but if a woman needs a man to spend money on her in order for her to feel special, yeah, the woman's not the one that should be running in the opposite direction.
I mean, who was actually surprised by this? Many women today don't even consider walking through a park a real date, nor do they consider grabbing a coffee a proper outing. If you're not taking her to some high-end restaurant where she can order the most expensive thing on the menu, snap a few pictures for Instagram, and ghost you afterward, then to her, it wasn't a date. We've reached a point where genuine connection has been replaced by expectations of luxury. It's no longer about the man, the conversation, or the vibe. It's about the setting, the clout, and what she can get out of it. A thoughtful walk through the park? Too cheap. A laid-back coffee where you can actually talk and get to know each other? That's not putting in enough effort. But somehow, showing up just for a free meal is. Let's be honest, a lot of modern dating has turned into a transaction. Too many women treat dates like job interviews where the man is applying to fund her lifestyle. She's not showing up to build something, she's showing up to collect something.
Serious question for the men. Where in the world are all of the loyal ones at?
They're either working, chilling, or quite frankly, ignoring people. And I feel like I keep on having to answer this question.
If you usually say, no one ever talks to me when you're out, it's because you're doing something wrong. And it might very well be that you're glued to your phone. I know standing in a room full of people without the phone, just It's crazy awkward. But if you want to connect, you have to be open for connection. If you stand with your phone in your face and your headphones on, no one's gonna come up to you and say, hey, take your headphones off, I really want to talk with you. If you want people to approach you, you need to be approachable. Have an open, relaxed body language. Look up, look around, and maybe even smile sometimes. Because a lot of time when we're thinking, we relax in our face and our facial expression looks like this. And then we're confused that nobody wants to talk with us.
Are you one of those ladies who struggles to get men to approach you in public? If so, listen up, because I'm going to tell you why. Now, the only reason a man is going to refrain from approaching you in public if they find you attractive is the fear of rejection. So when you are out and about, you need to use that yes, open body language rather than that no, closed body language. So the first thing you need to do when you walk into a public place is wipe off that resting bitch face, shake off that superiority complex. And this is a defense mechanism that we use when we feel uncomfortable in our surroundings, making us an automatic no to the opposite sex. Now, a surefire way to become a yes is to scream yes to others, through body language, of course. When you're out in public, make sure that man can see that you are open to others. Speak to the staff. Start up a light conversation with a stranger. This is going to make men feel that you are a safe and secure person to approach in public. And even if you were to say no, they still feel like they've gained a yes because they've had a nice conversation with an attractive woman. And you know, being open in public and chatting to new people can benefit you in so many ways, even beyond dating. You never know who you're going to meet and what opportunities you're going to get.
This is actually pretty good. But let's be real. 9 times out of 10, that's not how it usually plays out. The woman in that clip is actually right about one thing. A lot of women today do have a superiority complex, and that attitude, it's a big reason why they're not getting approached. Some of them walk around like they're too good to even be spoken to, head held high, nose in the air, giving off the kind of energy that says, I'm better than you. And then they wonder why no one is making a move. It's not intimidation, it's indifference. Let's clear something up real quick. This idea that a woman can just be out and about and expect to be approached as if it's her birthright, that's pure nonsense. No man owes you anything, especially not his interest. You're just another person in public. Men don't exist to boost your self-esteem every time you decide to leave the house.
Men do not seek relationships. Men seek pleasure.
Oh, goody. Is this another supposed relationship or dating expert?
I fall in love when you don't give them that pleasure. When they want it so bad and you don't give it to them.
Well, so far so good. Almost exactly what I'd expected.
That's when they fall in love with you. Men fall in love with the chase. You can be not even an attractive person, and if you're good at the chase, you can make any man love you.
And this will work on any man, will it? Okay.
If he has just a smidgen of interest in you, and you don't fall for his manipulation and game, and you don't give in to his what he wants, he'll chase you.
Ironically, the woman in this scenario is using her own manipulation tactics and playing her own games in order to win the guy over by getting him to chase her.
And in the chase is when he falls in love with you. A man cannot fall in love unless he chases you, period.
Really? I'm sure there's some men out there that would actually beg to differ, as they fall in love with their partner through actually forming a bond and trust in their relationship. But by all means, let's continue.
In the old days, it was called courting. Men would court women. People don't even know what it means anymore. In the courting process is when men fall in love. That's how men would find wives. Through the courting.
Yeah, courting wasn't all about chasing. It was still, as it is today, about getting to know the person. It's a pity more individuals still don't do that today.
Not all men are out here just seeking pleasure. There's this woman saying, men fall in love when you don't give them that pleasure and when they chase. Which is completely incorrect, by the way. This is exactly the kind of advice that's holding women back from real dating experiences, especially the ones consuming it non-stop on TikTok. Let's be clear, men don't fall in love just because they're deprived of intimacy or forced to chase. That's not how healthy emotional connection works. All that does is turn dating into a manipulative game. It teaches women to see love as something to control, not something to build. The irony is, a lot of the women who follow this kind of advice end up confused and disappointed. They think, I followed the rules, I didn't give him anything, I made him chase. Why didn't he stay? Because real men, emotionally mature men, don't want to be treated like lab rats in some dating experiment.
For the woman that say, I don't need a man, analyze that statement. I said it for many years. I would end up in relationships. The man felt unneeded and he cheated on me. Not that I cared too much because I was never going to marry him anyway, but it hurt. Do you want to be with a man that doesn't need you, who's going to go do whatever he wants to do anyway and doesn't care about you and doesn't take your thoughts or feelings into consideration? Hell no. Everyone wants to be needed. So if you don't need a man, you don't need a man. Go be single. Go do what you want to do. You might not need a man with the guys that you've been picking, or you can just go pick a good man who's going to help build and strengthen you and push you to heightened levels of success. That is a man you might want to consider having. It's up to you. I want a man.
And my friends are always so confused, like why guys don't come up to us at bars. And while I'm sure there's like a multitude of reasons for that, this time we all went out as a group together. There was like, I don't know, a couple of us girls, and literally any guy that came up to us, we actually like just like that, like put our hand in their faces. Like, I'm not even kidding. A group of guys was like right next to us where we were dancing at this bar, and anyone that tried to even come remotely close to approaching us, we literally went, no. It's like, okay. Just thinking about it. Actually, I think about it a lot. If I walked up to a guy and they put their hand in my face and said no, I would be crushed. Heart would be ripped out of my chest. Like, I don't know that I'll honestly ever go out again. Is the night in question.
So you're wondering why guys don't approach you at bars. Yet when one finally does, you throw your hand up like a traffic cop and say, don't approach me. Make it make sense. You crave attention but reject connection. You dress up, do your hair, put on your best outfit to be seen. But the moment a man actually sees you and makes a move, he's met with attitude and a wall. Then you go home complaining, where are all the good men? They were there. You just pushed them away with that entitled defensive energy. Men aren't mind readers, and they're not signing up to be disrespected just for showing interest. Keep playing that game, and you'll keep going home alone. You can't expect real connection while pushing people away like they're beneath you. You can't crave romance and simultaneously treat every man like a red flag just for showing interest. It doesn't work like that.
Y'all are gonna hate me for this, but I unfortunately think it's true. In dating, I think it's very appropriate and necessary for women to have a roster. More accurately, I think it's important for women to rotationally date, meaning they're going on dates with several men at a time. Whereas for men, I believe it's really important to focus on one girl.
What's crazy to me is that this woman is giving this advice and then she waits to the very end to say that she can't do rotational dating because she doesn't feel like she can love like that. She likes to give her attention to one man at a time. Like, at this point, I'm not even sure. Is she just trying to eliminate her competition? Because if a man that's really interested in you, if he finds out that he has competition that you're entertaining, let alone an entire roster, that is a big turnoff. And it makes sense why, because men do have to put in a lot of energy when it comes to dating, especially during the early stages. So how is he going to want to do that with somebody that is not a good investment? Someone that very likely might just ghost him the next day. So if you're going to follow this advice, the only thing I'll say is that you have to be open and honest about it. You have to tell that man that you have a roster. And as long as you do that, well, we'll see how many hang in there.
So a lot of you ladies are complaining that the guys are not approaching anymore, but that's not exactly the case all the time, because what happens is, if you notice, sometimes you don't wear any makeup and you're after gym, after a run, and the guys do approach. Why does that happen? It's because you are relaxed, or let's say you're admiring those flowers, or like looking at the sun. Why does that happen? Because you're feeling relaxed, you're in the moment, you're enjoying, and you're having that great energy, and it can be sensed by the guy. And so he feels like he can approach you. Also, when you are at the restaurant by yourself, not with a bunch of girls, if you want to be approached, just start smiling and enjoying yourself and be in the moment. And this way you're also signaling him and dropping the handkerchief, if you know what I mean.
Well, I will say this. Men tend to approach women more when they're in their organic state with no makeup on versus a woman who's painted her face with layers of foundation, contour, lashes, and everything in between. There's something refreshing and approachable about a woman who's confident in her natural skin. It signals authenticity, softness, and comfort, things that many men are drawn to, especially in a world where filters and masks are the norm. On the other hand, heavy makeup can sometimes feel like a wall, polished. Some men even hesitate to approach because they question what's underneath, or feel like they're engaging with an image rather than a person. And yes, a lot of women are complaining that men aren't approaching anymore, but that's just the result of the way women have turned modern dating. It's not that men suddenly became shy or uninterested, it's that many of them are tired of being treated like clowns.
Girls, I'm reporting live from Keen's Steakhouse. When I tell you there are so many groups of attractive young men here, like this must be where finance bros gather for like a bro dinner of steaks, because none of them are here on dates. It's like groups of like 3 to 12 men. Hot. Like, I'm not even joking. So many groups of young men looking like eligible fucking bachelors. I walked through the bar part to use the bathroom too. Men everywhere. Like, oh my god, I've never seen a sausage fest like this before.
Guys that are like, let me come pick you up and let's go to dinner so I can get to know you, not let me come over so I can get to know your cutie.
Check your friend zone. The guy that you are looking for is in your friend zone because you thought that he wasn't toxic enough, he wasn't man enough, he was too pushy, he was too clingy, and you found that unattractive, so you put him in the friend zone. And let's not forget, the type of man that you're probably looking for is the one that you ghosted because he was actually showing interest in you, and he wasn't, taking 3 days to text you back. He actually showed up being intentional, and you didn't like that either, so you ghosted him. And that's just for starters. Let's not forget that women have spent the last decade telling men that places like Cheesecake Factory weren't good enough. They've told them that coffee wasn't good enough. And even if a man shows up 110%, 99.9% of the time, y'all are going to assume that he wants only coochie anyway. If a man opens up the door on a date, then a lot of women will turn around and, ew, I can get the door myself. Oh, and let's not forget, if he's not 6 foot tall, he's automatically off the list. Women have a plethora of options and they're still never happy because they could have a man that checks off every single box that they're looking for, but guess what? They're going to ruin said date. At the end of the night, they're going to start complaining because they assume that every man that wants to go on a date with them only wants coochie anyway. So you end up ruining it and ghosting the good guy anyway. Oh, and my favorite is the guy that's going to take you out to dinner. You end up treating like crap because your ex comes in the picture and you try to play both sides of the fence. But y'all never want to have that kind of conversation. Not to mention, why would any man plan any kind of dates when there are women out here that have not paid for a meal in 3 months because they're going on dates for free meals? Why is any man going to subject himself to trying to find a good date or a good woman if the outcome is him getting dumped, even for trying and checking off all of the boxes that women are asking for, and it's still not good enough? Okay, bye.
This describes what men are going through to a T. The bottom line is, as a man living in today's society, you can't win. No matter what you do, it's never enough. You've got this woman and many other women out here asking, where are the guys that used to come pick us up for dinners? The ones who planned romantic dates, showed effort, and made us feel special. But here's the better question. Where are the women who are actually worth that kind of treatment? What happened to them? What happened to women who brought warmth, appreciation, and feminine energy to the table? What happened to the women who didn't see a date as a transaction or a man as a wallet? A lot of them have been replaced by entitlement, by attitude, by unrealistic standards shaped by social media. Now, many women want all the benefits of traditional men without offering the traditional femininity that balanced it out. See, a lot of women today want things to go exactly their way. There's no compromise, no cooperation, just control. It's her way or the highway. They want a man to treat them like a queen while treating him like he's disposable. They demand effort, loyalty, protection, provision, but they don't want to give anything back beyond existing.
You guys, I just want to say the quality of men in America is very poor, okay? Poor. America has a high rate of poor quality of men. I'm telling you. I don't know who's raising these boys, but you guys, it's like these boys are being raised by the same mother. You guys, I've been in America for almost 5 years now, and the experience has been pathetic. To know it's your poor choice in men. And two, they want to be chased, they want to be pursued, they're acting like they are the price. On top of that, I don't want something serious. Anyway, you don't want something serious, but you want me to give you girlfriend benefits. You want all the benefits that come with the relationship, but relationship, you don't want commitments. I have come to appreciate African men. The men I left in Zambia, I have come to appreciate them. You guys are men, leaders, men that are intentional, men that know how to treat women.
She said she's been in America, and the experience has been pathetic because men are acting like they're the prize and want to be chased. But let's be real, when a woman says that, it's usually because men aren't putting her on a pedestal or idolizing her the way she's used to. What she's really saying is, these men aren't bending over backwards for me just because I exist. That frustration doesn't come from men being the problem. It comes from entitlement. In some places, women are constantly praised and pursued, no matter how they act or what they bring to the table. But when they get to a place where men have options, self-respect and standards, suddenly it's pathetic. Now, I do agree that not all men are going to hold themselves to a high standard. Not every guy is going to be intentional, mature, or even worth the effort, and that's just reality. But here's the thing, women know this, yet somehow they use the behavior of the wrong men to generalize all men. They'll entertain guys who clearly aren't serious, then turn around and say, men are trash, ignoring the fact that they chose those men.
A lot of girls call or write to me and they say, I'm not meeting any guys when I go out. And I'm like, okay, how many girls are you going out with? They're like, I'm just going out with like my closest 14 friends. And I'm like, okay. So you and a small army is like hanging out at the bar and you want some like little brat or Chad to come up to you and tap you on the shoulder and go, hi, can I buy you a drink? Like, you look intimidating, even if you don't feel intimidating. So go pick one friend, go to a bar where you would want to be taken and chill at the bar and see with your friend. Maybe someone comes up to you, maybe they won't, but this is your best shot to meet someone while you're out. And also have open body language. Like if you're sitting like this at the bar, like head down in your martini, that's giving closed off language. Like smile, look around, like make eye contact with people.
If you're a girl and you see a cute guy that you want to come up and talk to you, here are some tried and true methods to get them to approach. I feel like making eyes doesn't work as well as it used to. Maybe it's just me, like maybe I just got uglier. Or I suppose it's possible that men are a little more aware of like women's issues and like bothering women that don't want to be approached. And so they're a little more cautious about approaching women. And it used to be I could get any guy in the world to come talk to me if I just stared at him. And then when he looked at me, I would smile and then look away and then look back at him. We just keep doing it until he approached me and it like always worked. But for whatever reason, nowadays, it does not seem to be quite as effective. Before anybody gets mad, this is husband approved. When I go out with my single friends, it is my job to make the night more fun. It is my job to get the men to come talk to us and just like add interest in the night because it's what I do best. Anyway, this is what you can do when making eyes isn't working. One is just wave. I think it's great if you can be like hot and seductive about it, like, but not me. But I will pull one of these. Honestly, that might even be better. Number 2, get really intense while singing the lyrics to whatever song is playing and point at him. All the small things. Number 3, my personal favorite, cheers them. Like, they love that. They're way hotter when they approach you, but if you're feeling bored, you can approach them too. You just come up and be like, hey, my name's Brenna, I think you're cute. Sometimes you can just like run into them, like literally, physically, like fall fall on them. If I'm feeling crazy, I'll be like, hey, you want to arm wrestle? I'll like talk to a guy with like giant, massive, strong arms, and I'll be like, if I beat you in an arm wrestle, you gotta buy me a drink. Basically, just be goofy. Best thing about talking to men is that it will make more men want to approach you. I don't really know why this happens, but it always seems to happen. If you talk to one guy for a little bit, then later another guy is more likely to approach you. I don't know the science behind it. I guess it could be a jealousy thing, or it might be like a sense of urgency that motivates them. Like, oh, like now's my chance. She's not talking to anybody. If I don't act now, like somebody else might swoop in again. It also might just be that it shows that you're approachable and fun. Like you're not getting upset when a guy talks to you. You're like laughing and having a moment with him. So maybe it gives them a sense of calm. Like, okay, this girl isn't going to be bothered if I come up and talk to her because she's clearly like a social butterfly that's enjoying herself.
I think we can all agree that women make approaching men difficult, and that's largely because most of them have never had to do it in their lives. It feels foreign to them. For decades, women have been conditioned to be chosen, not to do the choosing. So when it comes to taking initiative, starting a conversation, or putting themselves out there, a lot of women freeze up. Not because they can't, but because they never had to. Since they were young, most women have been pursued, complimented, chased. They got used to standing still while men made all the moves. And because of that, many of them have built their sense of worth around being wanted, not showing interest. But here's the truth. The dating game has changed. Men are no longer chasing just because a woman is pretty. The roles are shifting. Women who actually want connection will have to start doing what men have done forever. Make a move.
Want a guy to chase you? Here's the secret you need to know. Men don't chase needy women. They chase in-demand, high-value women. And the good news is you set the standard. You determine your worth. It's not going to come from how many guys are after you or how many compliments you receive on a given day or how many people follow you on social media. You're the one that sets the standard. You decide that you are a high-value woman. You decide how people get to treat you. You decide what you're going to put up with. I know it's much easier to say be confident than it is to actually be confident. So I'm going to give you a very simple tool that you can put into practice today to get there, to be that high-value woman. You are just going to act the part. You are going to act as though you are a high-value woman. How are you going to do this? In any scenario, you're going to ask yourself, what would a confident woman do in this situation? Would a confident woman stick around in a situation with a guy who is sending mixed signals all over the place and all in 1 minute, all out the next, and completely stringing her along? Would a confident woman rip herself to shreds because a guy lost interest? Would a confident woman settle for a guy who says he doesn't want to be in a relationship and stick around and try to prove herself to him in the hopes that he'll change his mind? No, confident women don't do any of this. They don't put up with what they don't want, and as a result, they usually get what it is they do want. So decide right here, right now, that you are a high-value, confident woman and start acting the part. Hope this was helpful, and make sure to tap that plus sign for more.
I would even go as far as to say this. Men don't chase so-called high-value women at all. That whole idea is outdated and one-sided. A real man doesn't chase. He observes, he approaches respectfully, and he shows interest. But here's the thing. If that interest isn't reciprocated with mutual energy, he's gone. No begging, no convincing, no trying to prove his worth to someone who doesn't even acknowledge his effort. See, a lot of women have been told that being high value means being unattainable, emotionally distant, and constantly testing men. But most men aren't impressed by that anymore. They don't see it as a challenge. They see it as a headache. A man who values himself isn't chasing a woman who acts like she's above him. He's paying attention to who's paying attention to him. And let's be honest, in today's world, the women labeled as high value are often more concerned with status, aesthetics, and attention than with connection, character, or compatibility. A real man isn't chasing that.